Welcome back to the Stories of Northern Life podcast, brought to you by the Sault Ste. Marie Museum. I'm your host, Nicole, and today we are going to be talking about Dr. Alexander Sinclair. So let's get into the episode. Dr. Alexander A. Sinclair Sr. was born August 8th, 1877 in Kilsyth, Ontario, near Owen Sound. He was the youngest of 3 sons in a family of 7. Unfortunately, there was no room for him on the family homestead, so at a young age he decided to leave and make his own way. He began as a deckhand on CPR steamers, sailing between Owen Sound and Thunder Bay. He raised money for his high school and college education. In 1897, he graduated from the Owen Sound Collegiate with a junior matriculation and second-class certificate. From 1897 to 1901, he taught school to finance his medical education. In the summers, he continued to work on these steamers, waiting tables in the dining room. In 1901, he started at the University of Toronto and graduated in 1905 with a degree in medicine. He began work as a camp doctor in various lumber camps around Sprague. He worked there for 2 years, sometimes walking up to 29 kilometers to remote outposts. In 1908, feeling the need to further his skills, he traveled to England and got a job at Guy's Hospital in London. He became a member of England's Royal College of Surgeons and London's Royal College of Physicians. In 1909, he came to the Sault and opened up a medical practice and surgical practice. In 1911, he organized the Sault Ste. Marie Medical Society, which became the Sault Ste. Marie Medical Association and was their first president until 1921. He became interested in civic matters and served as an alderman on city council from 1913 to 1916. Now, an alderman is basically sort of like our city councilors today. While on council, he was appointed chairman of the Indigent Committee, and now this is referring to the unhoused and poor community. The only place for the poor and elderly in the city at the time was jail, so Dr. Sinclair set up the Algoma House of Refuge, which you will remember from an earlier episode. And if you would like to take a listen to that episode, it will be linked in the show notes and description box. He also built the city's first incinerator and established a regular system of garbage collection. He was also responsible for the proclamation of the Juvenile Delinquency Act and the creation of the Juvenile Court. Then, in 1917, he was appointed the District Coroner of Algoma. In 1922, he was granted a fellowship in the American College of Surgeons. In 1923, he purchased the first X-ray machine out of his own pocket for the Plummer Memorial Hospital and acted as the hospital's radiologist. During this time, goiter, which is the swelling of the thyroid gland, was a serious disease, and it was due to freshwater depletion of iodine in the soil. It was serious because it was so common and caused the thyroid to become toxic, which, according to news outlets of the time, it burned out patients by attacks on their hearts and general metabolism. the surgical treatment for this fascinated Dr. Sinclair. So the procedure to remove the thyroid gland in itself was a fairly simple procedure. But after removing the thyroid gland, because it is a gland that provides a lot of other hormones and things to the body, after that is removed, patients sort of went through what they call a thyroid storm. So it actually had a high mortality rate. And this problem was solved mainly through the work of a group of doctors at the American Goiter Association. And Dr. Sinclair was one of 7 Canadians who were included in the group. In 1935, he went to Switzerland to study the Swiss methods of treating the disease. While there, he made a number of instructional films on goiter, and these were seen as classics and circulated throughout the medical community. He also established an experimental farm called Strathclair, but more on that in a future episode. In 1931, he joined the Sault Ste. Marie Rotary Club and served as secretary for 10 years and president from 1937 to 1938. It was at this time that the Rotary Arch on Lower Brock Street, now in front of the City Hall, was erected. As president, he focused his efforts on raising money to assist the Rotary Club's, quote, crippled children's work. So this was raising money for children with disabilities. In September 1954, he was awarded the fellowship in the International College of Surgeons, which was founded in Geneva, Switzerland. And this was mainly due to his accomplishments with thyroid surgery. And when he was complimented on this award, he replied, "Well, it's not too bad for a deckhand." So even after all of these great accomplishments, he never really forgot where he started out. In April 1955, he was honored at a Sault Ste. Marie Medical Society luncheon for 50 years of medical practice, when he received the awards from the Medical Society and the Plummer Hospital. He said that for doctors, the great thing besides practicing medicine was to take an interest in the community. He said, quote, "I think doctors should give of themselves to others. They should be leaders and thereby help humanity." Then, on May 29th, 1955, Dr. Sinclair Sr. died, and a plaque in his honor was placed on the Rotary Arch. Dr. Sinclair's son, Dr. Sinclair Jr., was actually very accomplished in his own rights. So we might do an episode on him in the future. But Dr. Sinclair, he did a lot, not only for the medical community globally, but also just for our community here in the Sioux, helping so much with his community work, and his involvement, as he said himself, was so important. So thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. But that is all for today. So thanks for listening. Bye.
Did you know you can get unlimited admission to the Sault Ste. Marie Museum for a whole year for just $15? Yep, that's right. And there's more perks to that too. Go to Sault Museum, that's SAULT museum.ca, under Visit, and learn more about our membership options. And if you're a business, corporate or nonprofit, we have plans for you too. Reach out to us by emailing info@saultmuseum.ca with any inquiries.
Hi, I'm JL Fizzell, and I write and publish poetry inspired by nature and the art of being human. These are some of my words. I think our ideas of what it means to be strong are sometimes a little bit skewed. So this poem, I'm hoping to challenge your views on strength and maybe make you realize that you have more strength in you than you ever thought. So this poem is called Don't Lie to Yourself, and it's from my 4th book, Human Nature. You were my light in the dark, while your own was threatened by the wind. Still, you were there to show me the way. Don't tell me that isn't pure strength. I hope that this poem took you somewhere inside yourself that you needed to go. You can listen to my story here on the Stories of Northern Life podcast. Links are in the show notes.